show active and continual learning. Yes, they're looking for this. They're seeing, okay, how can I make sense and where is there proof that this person is not just waiting for something to happen, that they are actually leading their own upskilling. When you are taking a course, or it could be knitting, it could be a workout class, it doesn't matter. As long as you are consistently and continually learning, that speaks to your agility and your adaptability. It's not just about certifications. Please do not just lop a certification up there. Now I want you to be able to speak to it in a way that says applied ethics to develop data governance frameworks now used by 3,000 employees. That is showing that you took that learning and purposed it and repurposed it for the betterment of that organization.
The idea of job security is outdated as a landline. If you haven't been in a search for a while, it's probable you will at some point, by choice or not. Most executives admit to staying way too long, or sense what's coming and justify staying anyway. There's another reason. The faulty belief that navigating to what's next will inevitably be worse and has to suck. Screw that. Lauren Greif has spent a lifetime in corporate and executive search, calling bullshit on stale career advice that most still use. This is Career Blast in a Half, the career podcast for executives ready to cut past outdated career advice to fuel your outcomes now. So let's go.
All right. I'm so glad that you are back with us. And I have something very important to share with you today, because we're going to be talking about packaging your deep experience if you're over 40. And to that end, I'm going to break this down in step by step. I'm actually going to give you my 5 ways to break that down. And why am I doing this? What I've been hearing from my clients and from every person that I seem to be talking to, especially those over 40, is that they're finding that their added years of experience aren't adding up to added value in the hearts and minds of those that are making the decision to hire them. So before we get into the 5 steps to package your deep experience, what I want to deliver is this. Experience and relevance are not necessarily the same thing. So your 20, 30 years of experience, that's great. But I need to know what that experience means for me as somebody who is going to make a big hiring decision. What have you transformed? How does that experience add up into impact? Where are the places where that experience just doesn't sit flat, but actually activates some other kind of outcome or result? Relevance says you are of the moment or of this time, meaning that I can see that your experience isn't just an accumulation of years, that the relevance drives the things that we need today and tomorrow. Relevance also looks like a great personal brand. Relevance also matters in terms of your thought leadership. These are relevant levers and movers in your job search. Relevance also isn't using a script. It's actually telling a great story that includes metrics. What else is relevant? Oh my. If you are not building a network, then you are off the radar, are not seen as somebody who is engaging in your industry as an expert and a leader. So obviously, pipelining and building and expanding that network is vital. It's not going away. Tech is a hallmark of relevancy, which means that if you are still dabbling in AI, good for you, but shout it out. Let us know how you are using it, because that is a currency that will keep you active and moving in the marketplace. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to be using it and to be thinking about it for ways that you can bring it to your next position. So we got that, right? We explained the difference between experience and relevance. And now what I want to do is move over into some of the key areas, the top 5 areas that are going to help you to take that experience, package it, and make it relevant. So the first thing that I want to talk about is for you to tell a tomorrow story. If you keep focusing on all the things that you did way back then and just checked off, I did this and I did this and I did this, you're putting your experience in a past tense. What you need to do is forward face it. It needs to be tomorrow. So here's an example. I want you to replace a generic statement of 20 years in tech with something that's more future focused, which is transformed 3 companies through AI integration, most recently reducing costs by 40% through machine learning implementation. Now, that's robust. I can dive in there. I can start asking good questions. So transform 3 companies through AI integration, most recently reducing costs by 40% through machine learning implementation. So you can see that actually something is going on there. It's not just saying, I got 20 years. The second thing, and you may have heard it here from that last example, is quantify everything. You would be shocked and amazed at how many metrics you're currently sitting on. There are metrics to everything. The number of team members you've led, the time zones that you may have had to manage if you're working on a global role, the number of actual stakeholders that you needed to get through approval processes, and all of the regular numbers, right? You want to be thinking about, if you're saying a difference, you must put a quantifiable benchmark around it. Don't say, I just improved this. Tell me from what to what. And that will also help to really understand what that difference is. More, I have no idea what more is. It's too ambiguous. It's way too generic. So quantify everything. I'll read you the example that I have here, right? So years of leadership experience. And now what I want you to do is focus in on what? So built and scaled 4 remote teams across 3 continents, achieving a 95% retention rate. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, right? We want to be able to leverage those. I am blowing the lid off of our best kept secret, our 30-day blast program. Yeah, you heard it. 30 days. We have seen so much success for this program that past clients have landed in that 30 days and increased their compensation 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, over 100%. Now, not everybody lands and earns that much in 30 days, but my point is it prepares you. And in 30 days, if you're not out of there with a changed mindset and changed clear and simple ways to be able to navigate the market this year, then we'll gladly refund your misery and you can go back to applying now. Check out the link below for the next 30-day blast, and we would love to have you there because we live for your success, and that's what's really important. See you then. 3, here's your next one to package your deep experience. Show active and continual learning. Yes, they're looking for this. They're seeing, okay, how can I make sense and where is there proof that this person is not just waiting for something to happen, that they are actually leading their own upskilling. So when you are taking a course, or I don't even care, it could be knitting, it could be a workout class, it doesn't matter. As long as you are consistently and continually learning, that speaks to your agility and your adaptability. Okay, back to this example. So it's not just about certifications. Please do not just plop a certification up there. Now I want you to be able to speak to it in a way that says, applied ethics to develop data governance frameworks now used by 3,000 employees, right? That is showing that you took that learning and purposed it and repurposed it for the betterment of that organization. So very important to demonstrate your learning and what it drove for a respective company or even in your job search itself. Highlight areas of inclusivity in the workplace or cross-generational skills. This is a through line for every single organization. All these different ages and stages of life are coming together, and you can pretty much bet that your team is going to be layered with lots and lots and lots of generations. So if you have mentored, try this one. Mentored 30 leaders while reverse mentoring 9 Gen Zers to foster collaboration. Now, you can speak in these terms, but also be wary of not necessarily labeling people at specific generations. I know it's tempting because we've been bucketing people into different generational labels, and I just want to make sure that it's not creating any kind of splitting, but more so inclusion. The last way to package your deep experience is to show that evolution, right? What that means is that I want you to show, not just with dates and data, I really want you to be able to support the levels of leadership that you have gained, the impact that you have driven in organizations, and the ways that which you have evolved as a professional. So an example would be led 5 successful platform migrations, and each time improving user adoption by 60%. So what that's showing in this case is you've done it. It had this iteration, that iteration, the next. So there's metrics in there, there's evolution in there, and there's relevance in there. So I'm going to go back and I'm just going to put these 5 together so that we can summarize this and you have an outline of how to package that deep experience. And what I'm also going to do for all of you is in the show notes, I'm going to include the link to my free ebook that goes through this with lots of groovy graphics and all kinds of good stuff for you to be able to take away. So let's go back to number 1, which is write that tomorrow story. Point your experience forward so that it's building on your relevancy. Second one, quantify everything that you can. You can always remove some of those if it seems like it's like number salad, but I want you to really start thinking about metrics because they're telegraphic, they're short and sweet, and they're also the language that business decision makers need to hear, right? And you're a professional, so this is also speaking directly to them and driving alignment. The next one, show active continual learning and put it in a place where it doesn't lay flat. So it shows how that learning has changed or transformed a company, yourself, your leaders, your team. Highlight cross-generational skills, right? Make sure that there are places where you are able, even if it is from coaching a soccer team, that's okay. If you have the example, it still is going to shine. And the last one is make sure that you are squeezing the juice out of places where you are showing evolution. You had a team that started at 2 and then it expanded to 7 and then it expanded to 20, right? That is evolution. That's consistent impact and also a consistent way of sharing that you have been able to build that as you have become more relevant within the organization. Oh, that was a lot in a very short period of time. But like I said, it's all captured in the ebook that is in link below. Thank you for joining today. And you know that this is my way of talking to you directly. I would absolutely, I'm making a little heart symbol, love and appreciate you writing an Apple Podcast review. That is all I will ask because that is so valuable and important to us. And please, for anybody that you know that is dealing with their job search and they're struggling because their experience isn't adding up, please share this episode with them and we will look forward to seeing and talking to you next week. All right. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to this solo episode. And I hope you have a blast today. Bye.
Thank you for joining today. We appreciate your listening ears. Big time. We ask this, use these tools, not tomorrow, right now, and share them by spreading the love, leaving us a rating and subscribe so you don't miss the next career blast in a half. Most of all, thank you for you.